Welcome to the Explainer. So today, we're going to completely shift how you visualize the inner workings of your everyday devices. Look, most of the time, we just stare at that sleek glass screen on our smartphones and, treat it like some magical black box. But today, we're popping the hood. Our goal right now is to totally transform the way you think about mobile hardware, and we're going to do it using a really simple, highly relatable analogy. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's dive into this, the single chip myth and what's really inside your phone.
You probably imagine something like what we see on the left here, just one giant, omnipotent computer chip doing all the heavy lifting, right? Well, actually, scratch that. We need to totally debunk that myth. Because instead of one magic piece of silicone doing literally everything, the motherboard is actually a highly coordinated network of specialized integrated circuits or ICs. Inside your smartphone, nearly every single distinct function is handled by its own dedicated semiconductor device. It's a bustling network, not just one solitary worker doing the whole shebang.
Meet the smartphone's CEO. Who really runs the show?
Think about it for a second. If there isn't a single giant chip doing everything, who exactly is running things? When you tap an icon to open a game, or, swipe to answer a call, who gets that command and actually makes sure it gets executed properly across this massive network of distinct components?
Well, enter the application processor, or the AP. The AP is absolutely the CEO of your smartphone. Just like a real corporate executive, the AP makes all the big decisions and coordinates every other component on the board. And here's the crucial part. Much like a good human boss, the AP doesn't actually do all the gritty work itself. Instead, it delegates specific tasks to specialized departments. It takes your input, decides what needs to happen, and just issues the orders.
Which brings us to the corporate departments. Let's look at these specialized teams on the motherboard.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how clearly these two distinct memory departments contrast with one another. Over on the left, we've got DRAM, which is your working memory. Think of it like the CEO's temporary whiteboard. It remembers temporary information that's needed right this very second to keep your current apps running perfectly smoothly. But, when the phone turns off, that whiteboard is wiped completely clean. On the right, though, is NAND. That's your permanent storage. It's kind of like those heavy-duty filing cabinets down in the basement. This is what safely stores all your permanent files, your photos, your whole operating system, and it keeps them secure even when your battery goes completely dead.
But hey, beyond memory, our CEO needs a few other critical departments to actually function, right? Let's run through them real quick. First up is the PMIC, or Power Management IC. This is basically your corporate facilities manager. It intelligently supplies and routes electricity to every single other department exactly when they need it. Next is the RF, or radio frequency chip. That's your external communications team, working hard to secure those crucial cellular bars so you can, actually send a text or make a call. Then you've got the camera, acting as the data capture department, instantly kicking into gear the second you snap a selfie. And finally, the display, your presentation department, taking all of this wildly complex digital data and presenting it visually back to you as you endlessly scroll through your feed.
So, bringing it all together, we can map all 8 of these specific subsystems perfectly to their corporate roles. Look at this. We've got the application processor acting as the brain or the CEO. DRAM handles working memory, and NAND manages permanent storage. The PMIC maintains power control, while the modem and RF manage long-range communication. The camera provides vision, the display and its DDIC driver handle the visual output, and finally, connectivity ICs manage your local wireless stuff like Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Literally every single department has a highly specific, totally defined job.
The ultimate takeaway, the big picture. Let's move to this and see how this builds our completely new mental model of your device.
So, the crucial point is this number right here, 8. 8 core interconnected semiconductor systems. Guys, when you hold your phone, you aren't just holding one computer. No way. You're holding a highly synchronized network made up of 8 core, interconnected systems all magically stacked together in a tiny little footprint.
As our source material perfectly summarizes it, and I'll just read this directly, a smartphone is best understood as 8 interconnected semiconductor systems, with the AP coordinating everything. Seriously, if you remember just one thing from our explainer today, let it be this exact reality of the network, and that CEO metaphor guiding the whole show. I want to leave you with this one final thought to ponder. The next time you pull out your phone, tap an app, and watch it open instantly, just think about what is actually happening behind that glass. How incredibly fast must this APCO and its specialized network of 8 distinct systems communicate to pull files from NAND, load them into DRAM, process all that data, and push it out to the display, all in a matter of literally milliseconds. The speed and the pure coordination of this tiny corporate headquarters in your pocket is absolutely staggering. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep wondering about those incredible systems you carry with you every single day.